Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Yup, and that right there is really the topic of discussion today. Just pure, flaming hypocrisy. The Democrats. You know, they claim to stand for the middle class, they claim to stand for minorities, they claim to stand for all kinds of different people and all kinds of different things, but at the end of the day, it's plainly obvious that the Democrats only stand for one thing and one thing alone, and that's literally standing on the opposite side of almost every issue from Donald Trump. Now, of course, that dynamic has changed a little bit lately as Democrats have gotten increasingly more desperate. They've adopted some of Trump's policy proposals, but in general, the track record's been pretty clear. Trump says something and automatically that something becomes taboo within the Democrat establishment. You know, like I always say, if Donald Trump all of a sudden comes out in support of oxygen, then all these Democrats, of course, will hold their breath. Well, kind of. It's more performance than it is actual conviction. Donald Trump says something and Democrats will say, oh, that's racist. Everything Donald Trump does is racist. There's always a malicious intent. But of course, most of the time, they're doing the same thing or they share the same view. In other words, they're totally inconsistent, horrible hypocrites. And well, that got exposed the other day. You know, back in the day, Democrats used to be in support of the concept of a wall, but then Donald Trump spoke about his big, beautiful wall and all of a sudden, walls became taboo. No human being is illegal. Donald Trump wants to put Latino people in cages. Right. And this, of course, coming from the same people who seem to barricade themselves at all of their events. I guess it's no walls for thee, but walls for me. The DNC gets totally exposed by Steve Cortez. Let me show you guys exactly what happened in this viral video. Then, of course, let's have a conversation about the hypocrisy and, you know, these dishonest left-wing tactics. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so apparently walls are racist, right? But of course walls are only racist when Donald Trump does it.
Hey, Steve Cortez here on the west side of Chicago, Democratic National Convention at United Center. The Democrats, of course, want open borders and want an endless stream of illegal migrants pouring into the United States. This is my new acquaintance, Edwin. Say hello.
My name is Edwin. Nice to meet you.
All right, Edwin is from Venezuela. And we're going to take Edwin into the DNC so that he can meet the Democrats who want open borders. He should meet his new friends, hear the speakers, and learn about the Democratic Party. So Edwin, let's head in, shall we?
Excelente.
Right. This is Edwin from Venezuela, migrant, invited in by the Democrat Party. He'd like to come into the Democratic Convention.
You have to get your credentials.
Some credentials.
Yep, you have to go to Jackson.
Yep.
Wait, you mean he needs credentials and permission to come in?
Yes.
To get past the wall?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a border wall in a way, huh?
Yeah. You have to have ID, credentials.
You can come
Okay,
in.
to come to the United States?
No, to come
Not to come to the
here.
United States, okay, but
No,
to come to the
just
Democratic
come through
Convention.
here, baby.
Okay. You believe in security. You believe in securing a boundary. Edwin can't come in.
Without credentials.
That's all I know.
I commend you on guarding this border. You're doing it very effectively, folks.
Good morning.
Hi there. We would like to get some credentials for Edwin. Come on, Edwin. Edwin is from Venezuela.
Hi, I'm Ron.
So we tried to get Edwin into the convention. He's a migrant from Venezuela. No organization, just American. And he's a migrant from Venezuela. Wanted to get into the convention. We figured that we'd love to have a migrant from Venezuela come in. They said we need to get credentials. So we're here to get the credentials.
Okay. Has anyone filled out an application for him?
So you have to. There's a process in the application. He didn't have that at the border.
Okay. I have my own personal beliefs on this, but right now I'm serving as custody. So I've asked him to turn the camera off.
Just to be clear, we have been ejected from the DNC credentialing office because we're not permitted to be here. We don't have permission. We didn't go through the application process. It seems like the United States would use similar rules about crossing the U.S. border. DNC doesn't believe in that, but they do believe in it for their own convention.
Holy frickin' moly. Now, a lot of people are calling this a gimmick, but it's really not. You know, sure, the media element of it is a little bit gimmicky, but the underlying point is solid. These people are total hypocrites. They go on and blah, 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 but all the unspoken people, all the poor people, all the asylum seekers. But when push comes to shove, they want nothing to do with them. They just want to use them as a political token to make themselves seem morally superior. But when it comes to actually taking care of these migrants and addressing the actual issue that they've caused, Democrats are nowhere to be seen. They don't want anything to do with it. It's the same thing they did back in 2020 with the issue of crime. Defund the police, they said, but what they meant by that was defund the police in the inner city, but boost up the police presence and security presence in my gated community. It's pure high-form hypocrisy, and even leftists can admit that, at least those who have been on the short end of the stick on this issue. Here's a Democrat Party alderman from the city of Chicago.
If we're going to be helping others, we also have to make sure the citizens of the city are, in a better position than they were in past years.
They were sleeping in front of the police station, and come on, the police station is like where you go to get protected, and all these people are like just there, and it was always dirty.
It's not just families and stuff. It's a lot of people who just get out of jail. Also, gang members from Venezuela. So I don't agree. We have enough issues here already, and our mayor, our governor, they're not understanding that.
Yeah, and some Democrats here in Chicago say immigration needs to be talked about more here at the DNC.
I'd love to hear an apology from Kamala Harris. As borders are, you allowed nearly 8 million people to manipulate our asylum process. I know I'm not going to get that, but I also want to know and hear some recognition of we have to do something that fixes the front door so that everyone isn't relying on the back door to get into this country.
Democrats always talk a big game, they support you. They're on your side. They're going to do everything in their power to make your life better. But once they've secured your vote and they've attained their power, all of a sudden they're missing in action. MIA. We could draw the comparison with their interaction with so many different groups. Just think about black voters, for instance. Joe Biden had the audacity to tell black voters that if they didn't vote for him, they, quote, weren't black. Of course, the implication there is that if you're a black person, you have to vote in your own interest, and your interest, your best interest, is voting for the Democrat Party. But what did Joe Biden actually deliver for black people other than a crippling economic situation that continues to bash people further and further into the ground, rendering it harder and harder to reach the surface of financial stability? What did he actually do? And even going further than that, what did Barack Obama do? The answer is big, fat nothing. The Democrats have controlled the White House for 12 of the last 16 years, and they've delivered no serious results. In fact, they have objectively made life worse. They've made life great for big bankers and big tech CEOs and the top 10% of investors who have significant funds in the stock market. But for average people, nothing. For average black people, nothing. For average Hispanic people, nothing. They talk a big game, we support you, but it's all a manipulation tactic. They don't want anything to do with these migrants. In fact, they don't even want to be associated with the issue because they know it's horrible for them. I mean, for Pete's sakes, Venezuelan migrants recently took over an entire apartment building. They're running drugs, guns, and probably human trafficking operations out of that apartment building, and they've also totally taken control of the building's, let's call it, management. The illegal Venezuelan migrants operating in this gang are literally charging rent to the tenants who are living in that building.
The city of Aurora says it's closing this apartment complex near Colfax and Peoria due to a long list of code violations going back years.
We are not buying this.
Aurora City Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky and some of her colleagues believe there's more to the story.
We believe that, yes, there are code violations, but this started because of a gang takeover. That's what we believe.
The company that manages the site says the same thing, that a gang from Venezuela had taken over the property, making it too dangerous for their staff to be there.
I mean, we're talking about a crisis of epic proportions, and Democrats just continue on every single day acting as if nothing's happening, as if it doesn't even exist. They cause the problem, they cause the crisis, they're bringing the people over, and then essentially leaving them out to dry. It's not just an empty gimmick, there's actually some substance here, a very important point being made. I support this absolutely. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.